One day, in the faraway year of 2000 and something, I was just a small, feeble, pathetic child doing whatever it is small, feeble, pathetic children do, probably playing with blocks or something, I don't really know. And on that fateful day, my brother entered the frame and gifted me something that would forever change the trajectory of my life, for the better, for the worse, and every little grey in between. I was given his old laptop, a piece of garbage, no-name nothing of a machine that was already filled to the brim with viruses, bloatware, and ran an operating system that the mere mention of was enough to make old heads wince. Some of the keys didn't work, the screen was laughable, and when running, the internals screamed like a coal locomotive.
Oh.
When did it get Windows XP?
I have 705 unread mail messages.
Oh my god.
But I couldn't have cared less. From that day forth, doing stuff on the computer is what I lived and breathed for. I quickly made the pre-gifted viruses on the thing look like mere child's play by downloading and messing around with anything and everything I could find on the information superhighway. I genuinely had cursor mania at one point, and my desktop was littered with tiny little information-stealing pals. This was the late 2000s. This was during the beautiful little gap in internet awareness when everyone had a computer, those computers could do anything, and before everyone got iPads and everything was truly corporatized. I spent all my waking moments not at school playing around on this thing. No matter how much of the wild west of the internet traumatized me and showed me unspeakable horrors, I just couldn't look away. Eventually I stumbled across a little website called YouTube, and that's when all hell broke loose. YTPs, Mario 64 and Halo Machinimas, the rise of Squeegee. I was tapped into all the ancient hieroglyphics for internet brain rot. This eventually led on to Let's Plays, watching the likes of Yamimash, Markiplier, Nintendo Capri Sun, Chugga Conroy, and eventually stumbling across a little video series which so eloquently starts with,
"Hey guys, what's going on? This is Noob Sniper here."
And just like that, I discovered Minecraft. It was like nothing I had ever seen before. The world, the look of it, the actual day-to-day cycle of what you did, it looked, in a few words, like the coolest fucking thing I had ever seen. As soon as I figured out where the game could be purchased, I very politely asked my parents for the gift of Minecrafter, but this was back in the day, so my parents were very wary of just shoving their card information into a site they had never heard of. So until they could be won over, I spent countless hours watching Minecraft videos online and playing Minecraft Classic, which I found through the Lava Survival series by BubbleCube, content which I was probably way too young to be watching, but I'd seen way worse shit in the abyss, so it's fine.
Oh god!
Eventually, after much convincing and getting my brother to vouch for me and saying that he would install the game so I wouldn't ruin the computer any more than I already had, I had a Minecraft of my very own.
It's beautiful.
Minecraft quickly went on to become an integral part of my early adolescence. I played it constantly on my dinky little laptop. I recorded myself playing it in a desperate attempt to be like my YouTube heroes. I learned every little intricacy of the game, and whenever I acquired a new device that could run it, like the GOAT Pocket Edition Lite, quirky little homebrew ports of it on my PSP and my DS, and of course the Xbox 360, which I also used for Castle Miners before Minecraft was available. That's a discussion for another day. But no matter how much I played the game and on how many devices, no matter how many YouTubers I watch scream over it and dilute it into amorphous, colourful shapes easy for consumption and monetization, one truth always remained. Although I loved Minecraft, it unnerved me. This is a commonly known thing now, but back in early Minecraft, when you were alone without any background noise to distract you, it had the potential to fill you with more dread than the scariest of actual horror games. When the game had a lot more mystery to it, when rumours and hoaxes the likes of Herobrine were abundant, the game had an almost insidious underlying tone, like all the colourful planes and funny little animals were a front for something else, something just out of your view, and it was an amazing feeling. There's very few games that can capture the true feeling of being watched completely unintentionally, and even fewer that can do that and still be so fun that you keep playing in spite of it. Single-player Gmod, the Coin Games, San Andreas, Fallout New Vegas, and pre-release Minecraft are of my favourite examples. It was, like, in a sense, fear by 1,000 paper cuts that truly made it so effective. When I first played the game to death, info on what was in it was scarce and filled with misinformation. Combine that with completely random inclusions of creatures like the Creeper, who can ruin any player's day, and the groaning, imposing ambience when exploring any underground area, and it was nerve-wracking to a 12-year-old. I mean, hell, if this thing can run around on the world, who knows what lies deep within the depths of the underground? Pair that with Mojang's willingness to commit to the bit, and it allowed all of our imaginations to run wild. That feeling of thinking that the possibilities within a game were endless, that anything and everything was either already implemented or couldn't be more than a couple of updates away, truly led to the world's feeling alive in a way that not a lot of other games can. And the funniest part was, none of the stuff that my mind made up and was influenced by was in the game in the first place. By all accounts, early Minecraft is truly notable for the emptiness, for the lack of life. It's almost post-apocalyptic, no remnants of potential intelligent life besides yourself, but that gave away for feeling like there was something hidden all the more. Features would later be added to further populate the world, intelligent life, supposedly, signs of explorers before yourself, but in a strange way, that kind of limited the scope of what a lot of players felt could be just out of their view. Going back to this period of the Minecraft community is always a good laugh. Using YouTube's before year filter, thanks for letting me in on that one, Sydney, you can go back and find all the old garbage that your child brain was so invested in years ago. Some of my personal favorites are Herobrine's Sighting by Eric Young, which is just so expertly soundtracked with Right Behind You. And who could forget the classic Minecraft communicating with Herobrine? This is real. It's not fake this time. Oh, you know shit's serious when you gotta pull out the notepad document. And this video by...
And one day in Minecraft I was digging at the blocks next to my house when I found...
Oh wait, no, I made that one.
some...
Minecraft horror and things like Minecraft ARGs have become enormously popular in recent years, to the point of exhaustion, if I'm being honest. The same fate that befell analog horror has hit this stuff far quicker and rotted it out far more effectively. The amount of careers that have lived and died on the vine of dissecting and overly analysing every single series they can get their grubby little hands on, no matter the quality, so they can crank out a 2-hour video, is genuinely impressive to me. But no matter how many of these are cranked out, cynical cash grab or genuine storytelling attempts, they never seem to really escape from the same formula that people used for hoaxes and rumors 15 years ago, which I will always find kind of funny. There's obviously a lot more depth with some of these projects, but the actual pacing and how the story is conveyed is always the same. Even as the community and the audience radically shifts and changes, we're all still watching people talk to a player who isn't there and find buildings they didn't make. None of it will ever beat this one anyway, so what's the point?
Smart word. Today's snack time, I decided to give my brain a break from all the constant blockage by going on a little walk through the valleys of nature. And with me I brought a little flapjack with chocolate chips, a snack perfectly fit for doing some cool kick flips and even cooler truck flip pop shoulder. Alright, now that we've done all of our cool trickery, it's time to see how it tastes. Yeah, I give that one a 2 out of 10.
But much like every other game, Minecraft had a shelf life for me. I had played and followed the game's development religiously until around whatever update they added potions in, and by then, I tapped out. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was something specific or just my taste changing in general, but I just wasn't interested anymore. I still did the classic 2-week Minecraft phase now and again, mostly when friends who hadn't jumped the boat asked if I wanted to play on a world with them, and I joined more so just to hang out with them than to really get back into Minecraft. It'd be a surprise if I did anything more than build a house and get bored before logging off. I was done absorbing new info, playing on my own, and at a certain point, I stopped paying attention to what was being added to the game altogether. And as that happened, I grew cynical, convincing myself that the original feelings I had when I was a kid, well, they were never real. It was just my mind converting nostalgia into reusable dopamine I could rely on to reminisce whenever I felt like. Minecraft was never actually that good. Minecraft was boring. Its gameplay loop was repetitive and you ran out of stuff to do too quickly. Mojang were just lazy. They didn't care about the game and it was becoming worse and more unbalanced with each edition. When Notch quit,
it all went to shit.
See, the thing about nostalgia is that it goes both ways. Much like how you can remember the joys of your past, even tint them rosy to make them better than ever before, you can just as easily convince yourself of something in your past secretly being as cold and miserable as you are today. Around this time, I had a very regrettable phase in my life that a lot of stilted, chronically online teenagers go through, where a lot of the things I used to love or would have loved were cast aside as I was just too busy being an irony-poisoned arsehole, so terrified of behaving genuine in any way that I rejected any game or film that wasn't boiled down to its most basic elements or was just as detached as I was in its approach. Projects that I now consider to be truly poignant works of art that I recognize had a lasting impact on me and my own creative pursuits were trash to me back then, and I'm only just starting to pick up the pieces and be comfortable not caring about what I enjoy. Luckily, this all happened to me just before the gaming discourse landscape fully devolved into, is game woke? I kill woke game. God knows what kind of dumb shit I would have spouted if that was the case. Updates came and went, controversies were had and diffused, entire online communities rose like the Roman Empire just to burn to the ground spectacularly, all while I was unaware and chipping away at other, far more important things. And over that time, I grew up. I changed. I realized that the detached irony poisoning I was so insistent on making my personality was something to purge and not a joke to revel in. I figured my shit out, got out of the house, met people who changed alongside me. It's crazy what going outside and getting friends will do for you. Then a long forgotten but quickly remembered itch started in the back of my mind. It was subtle at first, merely a tickle, until it grew into an unignorable scratch. I felt like playing Minecraft again. I installed the game, and after booting it up, when all was said and done and we were looking at each other face to face, neither one recognized the other. And it was perfect. I dove in headfirst after installing some mods so the game wouldn't run like dog shit, with no research and no knowledge of what I was getting into, and what that led to was a complete rediscovery of that feeling, that childhood mysticism I had felt before. The way the worlds were shaped, what they were populated with, and what you could do within it once again felt utterly limitless. There were so many animals and structures I had never seen before. Spending so much time paying no attention to the game's development and hopping back in made it feel like I was playing Minecraft for the very first time. I wasn't playing with optimal strategies to immediately find diamonds or building monolithic torture chambers that would systematically spit out infinite resources. That knowledge had left my brain to make room for other things a long time ago, so instead, I was playing the game as if I myself was simply another innocuous addition to the world, and it made the whole thing feel better. I feel a lot of people who get burnt out on the game have spent so long getting good that they've forgotten that Minecraft is a game about living. Your quest, so to speak, is nothing more than not dying. I mean, there's the Ender Dragon, but in a vacuum, you're never told, hey, go do that on the double. So taking a breather, doing things in my own time and at my own pace, willing to learn how all the new stuff worked by experimentation and not by staring down a wiki for 20 minutes was great. The first world I started with this mentality was Let the water hold me. I didn't make too much progress, only a house and a little farm, but it was enough for me to know that this wasn't going to be another 2-week phase. I wasn't hopping on just to chat with friends. I was in this for the long haul, so I decided to use my newly opened Twitch account, wink wink, nudge nudge, to document my journey on another world, like a child learning to take its very first steps before stumbling off a cliff.
I also set it so that if anybody followed me during the stream, it would make a very loud Android notification sound.
Oh, fuck. Fuck, it's got me again.
Every Minecrafter.
Header it, it's in
What is this?
Starting out, I got my bearings and worked my way through a couple of starter homes as I searched longingly for a location I would truly feel comfortable settling down in, and the thing I discovered during all the typical actions of crafting and murder was not only did the game feel fresh and expansive again for the first time in years, when it came time to explore the underground, it felt unnerving again in a whole new way. One of the many problems with playing a game over and over again across your life is that eventually it'll all become too easy. You know what the game can do, what it can offer, and you grow accustomed to bending it to your will. The enemies grow pathetic, traversing the plains becomes as mundane as a trek to the corner shop, and you come to know the hills and holes as well as you know Tesco from Aldi. But Minecraft spent its time, much like me, fundamentally changing in recent years, most dramatically with the Caves and Cliffs updates. Caves and Cliffs has proven in my brief research to have a very muddy legacy in the eyes of fans. The idea and goal for the update was to radically change the way worlds in Minecraft looked and were explored, something players had been downright begging for years. Providing these gigantic open caverns and inconceivable mountains, all of which were intertwining and connecting in ways that wasn't naturally possible in the game before. For a lot of players, these changes, while initially promising, turned out to be a massive letdown. People didn't like that this is pretty much how all caves were now and that the old ways were seemingly gone for good. But for me, when I first found one of these huge, imposing underground domains, it left me thinking that this is how these caves used to feel. These giant, unknowable spaces is what the most tame, timid cavern in the alpha versions felt like to me when I was a dumb, idiot baby. The horrifying ambience and feeling that anything could jump out and ruin you has been reborn in these new structures, especially with the new areas like the Deep Dark. Whoever decided on this at Mojang is a cruel fucker, and I'm so glad that they're in charge. When I was young, the aspect of finding diamonds was amongst the most exciting events that could possibly happen to you. Marriage, winning the lottery, I want a diamond sword. But as the game grew, it became more and more apparent how simple finding diamonds actually was. Dig down to a certain level and then do strips until you find them. Now, while you can still do this if you want, finding diamonds naturally in a cave is far more difficult, and if anything, it's made the hunt all the more fun. Just to find 2 diamonds, I had to plunder one giant cave, then hop on a boat and head to an entirely new island and cave system just to find the other. And while that may sound frustrating, isn't that what you want from a game like Minecraft? For the game to give you a kick and tell you to get out there, to explore your surroundings. Although when I was playing off stream, I found like 6 diamonds in 10 minutes directly underneath my house, so maybe I'm just unlucky. Speaking of which, I eventually found the spot that would become my home base of operations, coming out of this gorgeous cherry blossom biome and finding a picturesque cliffside village which didn't offer much in terms of resources but was aesthetically pleasing to me, so that made up for it. I got straight to work constructing my forever home, and whilst now I'm sure most of you think this is but ugly, this is what I wound up with. Welcome to I Forgot to Name This Topia. Come stay a while. There's several cozy little shacks that one can make themselves at home in, although do not be alarmed if the locals make themselves comfortable too. They have no concept of privacy. And whilst visiting, see our many wonders available, like the fleet of golem pals, the breathtaking views of the ocean, the farm of the ages to the side of the village featuring wondrous piss cows, regular cows, and an ever-growing supply of meth chickens, lovingly named after the first pet on this world. Meth chicken. What are you doing? Who for some reason had gained the ability to walk at supersonic speeds, but who was tragically killed in a despawning incident, leading to this farm being created in its honor. Rest in peace, Meth Chicken. May you be zooming around in the great beyond. When you've had your fill of that, take a break to do some fishing by the docks, or explore the Cave of Pure Despair, located directly under the area. There's always something waiting for you there, and if this dimension's not enough for you, you greedy fuck, then why not step through our interdimensional gateway to our nether resort for some extreme sunbathing, lava swimming, or whatever else takes your fancy.
Take one of our many nether highways to wherever your heart desires. 1 in 3 guests return alive.
Please mind the guests. When looking back at my footage, the game doesn't really seem that different, and on paper it's really not, but there's just something about how it all feels now. I don't know how much of that is just my perspective, you know. With how my life is these days, playing video games is an occasional treat instead of something I constantly do, so I'm probably a lot easier to please. But here's the thing. Nostalgia is a tricky thing. It's become synonymous with money-hungry hands grasping at straws to try and make something passé marketable again, but there's a reason so many companies and individuals are hell-bent on exploiting it. If pulled off properly, nostalgia is embarrassingly powerful. It can save failures from certain death, and it can make anyone feel a deep longing for the past, and that comes from a place both positive and negative. Something about the fact that you can never return to a specific time and a place, how that moment in objectivity is gone, whilst a bummer note to dwell on, is also what provides this power. You can't have that joy without the backbone of loss, and I think that's what a lot of people fail to remember. In our modern entertainment cycle, everything has become so bogged down, so focused on le bad, le good. The simple reuse of an idea is enough to spark rapturous applause and vehement disgust all at the same time. And then if something new is tried, those same camps simply swap sides. You have an idea and there's a backlash, then there's a backlash to the backlash, and then before you can even process what has happened, the scene has moved on whilst others return with a magnifying glass to form an entirely new backlash. It's headache-inducing. So if you take anything away from this video, it's that you gotta tune this stuff out. Stop engaging with bad faith, profit-oriented content, allowing yourself to grow angry or dismissive of ideas simply because of preconceived notions. If a character or an idea is something you're not used to, then surely that's just something new to try. Don't hinge your enjoyment of something through a lens of your own identity. It's okay for your tastes and the content at the forefront of your nostalgia to change over time, to try new shapes, new faces. It's a good thing. Try not to allow yourself to count something out because it's not what it used to be. Much like people, much like you, modern games are ever changing, ever finding themselves. And if you're patient, if you're able to grapple with that, then you can learn to love them all over again.
Go back to looking for a face that you never knew. The world you want is empty. It's a ghost in the machine. Cost of innocence lost, it's a price that's obscene.
how well we're doing on recording.